Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. You think of that? Mind over matter is magic. I do magic.
Outside today, Washington Square Park, and I have the lovely Anissa, Haley.
I'm Kenny Dreams, artist, producer.
I'm Billy Clayton Miller, a filmmaker and a singer.
Big filmmaker, big artist outside, and a podcaster. So tap in.
Devin Molman. I'm a musician and I play music and I write. I do a podcast as well, Archive Generation.
And I'm just gonna ask him a few deep questions about life. You know, if you tune into the podcast, you know I get a little existential. I'll be talking about conspiracy theories. I'll be talking about life, philosophy. So let's just get deep in the park with it, okay? So do you believe in conspiracy theories?
I definitely like to look into them and like read the different types of varieties out there. Some I don't believe all of them, but definitely out there are some I definitely do believe. When it's like kind of like proven or like videos or personal experience, I like to.
Do you believe in conspiracy theories?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, some of them.
Testing where you are on the conspiracy theory spectrum,
Right.
because that's what we're talking about.
Cool.
Do you believe in conspiracy?
Yeah, I mean, clearly people conspire to do things, whether it's two people, like one person can conspire to do something against someone else. And so people with power, if you're not going to make plans, then why would you want power? Why would you want wealth if you're not even going to make plans with that? Well, if you're not even going to use it? And if you have it and you use it, why would you necessarily tell everyone about it? So you're not going to announce all your plans, because if you're in for money and power, and if that's your thing, if you have a whole lot of money and power and control, then clearly that's your thing. So if that's your thing, it's only logical to withhold information from people that you're trying to gain power over, because that's the best way to do it. Because knowledge, we say knowledge is power, but it's also like knowledge leads to power, but how we apply that knowledge is really where we can, enforce. Like if someone wants to subjugate another, which clearly people do in this world, they have that desire, they have that mindset, unfortunately. So withholding information is step one. You gotta start there, and also not only withhold information but introduce false information. So, so that's just the best way to control and subjugate people. Clearly, there are those who want to control and subjugate people because that's the world we live in. There's no denying that people are subjugated in this world. So what is it all happening by accident or something? Like, no, clearly there are people whose intentions are that.
My mind is blown right now. Oh my God. You have a worthy competitor. Oh my goodness. Like, even when you went back to the root word, I didn't even think of it. I've been saying this word all day,
right.
And I haven't thought about the root word, conspire.
Right.
Everybody wants to conspire. Everybody has their own agenda, but of course, because we live in our own reality, we have to make a world where we feel comfortable that we are able to get what we want.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Name a specific conspiracy theory you believe in. It's a judgment-free zone.
It's gonna make me think. I don't know. The adrenochrome theory, where like a bunch of different famous people are like taking children and are like eating their skin or drinking their blood to like stay young and stuff.
What is it called?
It's like adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is the like genetic material within the stuff that like causes people to stay young. It's supposed to keep you younger.
Oh, I have heard of that.
Yeah. So that one, I've studied a little bit of it. I don't know if I believe it completely, but there's definitely some like interesting factors that go into it.
Epstein Island, how they say all that extra stuff that was going on over there. There's like all them signs and symbols that celebrities will put in their posts or in their pictures or wear, and they mean like certain different things, like little boy lover, little girl lover, and this and that, or both.
Which ones specifically?
I mean, that's a good question. Kanye said the government gave us AIDS, man. I don't know about that, but maybe.
I believe that a lot of the assassinations were done by the CIA, and things like MK Ultra and other things of that nature. Yeah, I'm talking about JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, and MLK.
Whoa, so not just presidents.
No, I don't even need to go that far, too. COVID. COVID's a clear example of something that's bullshit. I had a family member die of COVID, but the way we handled it, when we could have handled it in a more calming and inspiring way by bigging up the health experts and what they're saying instead of the scientists and what they're saying, it just seems like it was out of whack.
I agree, because instead of promoting vitamins and the sun and exercise, which is how you defeat most viruses, they promoted staying inside and fear. So stress hormones went up and the immune system was out of whack. And of course, people that were obese or immune deficient would suffer. They also, in a lot of hospitals, went straight to ventilators instead of going to oxygen masks or oxygen tanks, because ventilators were subsidized. And only 9 out of 10 people die on ventilators, and COVID affects the white blood cells. It doesn't even affect the oxygen levels. So it was a complete scam. It was money. The people that were in charge of making the vaccines have been sued thousands of times for billions of dollars for malpractice. So I think that a lot of doctors are great. I think a big misconception with people that kind of lean into believing this sort of thing is they shit on all of Western medicine, and I don't do that. A lot of Western medicine is amazing. I just think a lot of things are have to do with money, and that people's bosses or the way that they're supposed to handle things have to do with money. So it's not their fault, you know. And there are a lot of doctors that did good by people too.
Fuck yeah.
So
What specific conspiracy theory really sticks out to you and you believe? Like,
I do believe there is a ruling class. I think there is ample evidence to prove that we are under attack in many ways, to prove what's sprayed on the food. I mean, come on, like, it's an open conspiracy. Like, the food is sprayed with toxic chemicals. Who owns the company? Okay, Monsanto was bought by Bayer. Who's Bayer? They come from IG Farben, which supplied. They were one of the arms of. Bayer was one of the arms of IG Farben, right? When IG Farben broke up, Bayer was one of the companies that came out of it. But anyway, Bayer comes from IG Farben. Who's IG Farben? They supplied the Nazis with this Zyklon B gas that gassed people in concentration camps. So these are the world's farmers now, you see. So this is like the Nazis are the world's farmers. Like that's real, you know. And so they're spraying chemicals on the food that cause health problems. Like,
are you listening to this? Okay.
So we got what do we got? Glyphosate and Roundup. We got chemical fertilizers that are sprayed into the soil. Then you got pesticides and herbicides sprayed on top of the crop. All of that seeps into the soil, into the water supply, evaporates, rains back down on us. Then you got fluoridated water, right? So
Fluoride toothpaste.
Fluoride in the toothpaste that calcifies the pineal gland, which is your third eye chakra. That it's bad for your organs in general. That's in like what 70% of tap water in this country, maybe more, and used someplace other. You know, the Nazis used it, Soviets used it in their concentration camps. So there is a chemical assault that's real. There is a financial assault through banking. They print money from nothing and charge others to use it. That's theft.
So basically, it's a conspiracy that George Bush basically set a call on for a big event to happen so he can basically have an excuse to go to war with Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, I'd probably get behind that. It seems like a very popular thing that this country likes to do, cover media with different scandal.
Yeah, just to blow shit up. And now people start looking at Islamic people in the Muslim communities as if they were terrorists, and they started stereotyping them. There was a whole phase, a whole thing where they even started putting airport securities and discriminating against them. Before 9/11, there was no airport security. Now, after it, there's a lot of airport security. And a lot of the times when people with turbans or people who come from the Middle East wear their religious clothing, they do get stereotyped, and that is a side effect of 9/11 happening.
I have some personal experience with like the airport security because we come from like a family that has Muslim like names. Like my father's name is Muhammad and her father's name is Muhammad. So those last names give like different questions when you go to airport security. So like I just traveled to Israel for a school trip, and on my way back I had gotten like totally different questions than all of my friends who were going through it, and like the questions they were asking me was about like my background and my religion rather than like what I was there for on the trip or anything like that.
So, have you seen the recent video with the lady on the plane, and she said that whoever she was beside wasn't real?
Nah,
You haven't seen that?
Nah.
So they were saying that, so there was this lady, a viral video, she was on a plane and she was screaming, like saying that the person beside her is not real, and people in the comments were saying that he's like shapeshifter,
Oh, no.
and like he was doing like, you know, like the lizards, how they be saying like
Yeah,
celebrities and-
reptilians.
yeah, he was one of them, and he had did that eye thing where his eyes went like a,
Like it was trying to focus or
I'm
something.
surprised you haven't seen that. That's
Well, you
really-
believe in that?
Definitely, especially with all the videos and pictures of people doing it, and it's like they show pictures of celebrities and stuff before and after certain things, or they go missing, or just all that satanic shit.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean,
The Illuminati is real too. I don't care. That's real.
yeah, I can't. That's the first conspiracy theory I've ever believed in. Can't go wrong with
I
that.
remember going through YouTube like at 8 years old, like, oh shit, the
Yeah.
dollar bill is actually the eye and the triangle with the eye. Illuminati.
Yeah.
Do you think people label people as conspiracy theorists or like oddballs or weird to dismiss them from the truth, or like dismiss them from even like understanding where they're coming from?
I personally think that some people like to just name, like, when people are knowledgeable about different things, that they like to name them as weird, so they don't have to go out and realize that the world that they know is and what it really is and what it
Yeah.
seems. I'm stuttering, but I think people understand that, man.
No, I get it.
But yeah, most definitely, I agree as well. I think that a lot of people don't want to they want to stay ignorant of some things. So in order to keep themselves from like trying to explore any of that, they just label people as crazy just to get over it.
What do you feel about people that will label you guys as conspiracy theorists and crazy?
You want
That's fair. Cool.
Yeah, people can think whatever. Conspiracy theory was a term that shot up after the Kennedy assassination because it was used to discredit people that tried to say anything about the Kennedy assassination. And lumping a bunch of things together as conspiracy theory is kind of ridiculous because a lot of them have nothing to do with each other. It's like saying if you like apples, you'll automatically like blueberries. A lot of conspiracy theories are completely different, but it's a free country and you can think whatever you want. Free country.
Have you ever been labeled as a wackadoo or, you know, crazy?
I can't say it's ever really stuck, like, it's not something I get a lot. My friends, even if they're not, even if they haven't taken the same information and they don't know whether or not what I'm saying is true, which is understandable, but I'm not saying believe me. But I took in this information and it might be contrary to what someone else thinks is true. Now, is that somehow an abnormal thing? No, that should be considered totally ordinary, right? That we would come to different conclusions about things that we've heard, right? Or we've heard different things. So I approach it like that, and I think that avoids a lot of the labeling, because I get down to the root of knowledge, and I'm not asking anyone to believe what I'm saying, because I think when you start coming with a lot of details about anything, like say we could we could really dissect 9/11, every little aspect of it. And that's just, for a lot of people, that's too much, and they don't even need to know all those details. And they don't know if those details are true or not because they haven't looked into it. So they're just listening to you go on about these details. And it's kind of the psychological incentive they have might be to want to disbelieve you, because that would be easier, because that would mean the life,
They don't have to do the work to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
They could just easily dismiss you. It's an easier answer.
And it's easier to inhabit a psychological space where the government isn't actively trying to kill you and trying to like control everyone, and like that there's not this like fundamental antagonism to the system against the masses. It's easier to process like, or to live in the psychic space of, no, the system is trying to do its best or whatever. There are people within it trying to help us. That is it's less urgent.
Yeah, and it,
you know what I mean?
Saves your humanity to a certain level.
Right.
Because a lot of people just don't want to give up their reality because their reality is rooted in illusion and just false ideologies that were put in place. And when you do see that from a like a higher observation, you look at those people like, okay, well, I thought you were not seeing this. So it's kind of like we look crazy to them, they look crazy to us, but I think it's just our way of trying to make sense of our reality, essentially.
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want to know now. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want to know now. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want you think